guys, it's Tina and I'm back. And I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe. If you're also back, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again. Say hi to the family for me. But if you're new and maybe you like what you see, please consider subscribing. We have tons of fun here on this channel talking about makeup and all things beauty. And in today's video, we have another foundation review. This time around, we're going luxury. I am testing out the brand new Gucci Éternité de Beauté 24-hour wear breathable foundation. This is touted as having a luminous matte finish, and I'm not gonna lie to you, that is what intrigued me about this foundation. Luminous and matte don't go together. Like, how can it be matte and luminous at the same time? The whole point of being matte is that there is no shine, no luminosity, so how can it be a luminous matte? So that intrigued me, and I have enjoyed the previous foundation from Gucci. This is the Fluid de Beauté Fin Natural, which is the natural finish foundation. This was a great foundation when it debuted, and I still enjoy it to this day. So I wanted to go ahead and give the new one a try, and this is also recommended for oily skin, which I have. So I thought I would be the best candidate to go ahead and test this out for you guys. So if you want to see me demo this foundation, do a full wear test, and also give you a full rundown of the foundation and my final thoughts, then stay tuned and let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and give you the details of this product before we jump into the demonstration. So this again is the Gucci Éternité de Beauté 24-hour full coverage luminous matte finish foundation. It retails for $69. It is available in 41 different shades, and it contains the usual 1 fluid ounce of product, or 30 milliliters, which we've come to expect from any liquid foundation products on the market. There are a variety of shades to choose from, and I love that they have such a diverse skin tone range. We have really light shades to really rich, deep shades, and there are a lot of dark tones to choose from. We have various undertones as well. We have neutral, olive, cool undertones, warm undertones, and those undertones are kind of reflected in the number for the foundation. So for instance, my specific shade match is 36W, and this falls in the medium skin tone range, which is great to see, right? Because I consider myself to be a dark tan at most. So for me to fall in the medium range of a foundation lineup, that is excellent, because that means there are quite a few shades after me that are deeper and richer. So my shade 360W is recommended for medium skin with warm undertones. Now I usually go for shades that are more on the neutral side, even a little bit olive, but for me this shade was the closest I could get that matched the depth of my skin and also synced up with my undertone. So don't be afraid of the warm shades if you lean more neutral. They aren't too orange or too yellow. This is just more on the warm side rather than fully neutral or fully olive. So let me go ahead and read the product details while I show you the packaging up close and personal. From the Gucci website, it says, Gucci presents Éternité de Beauté, and I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right, but it's the best I can do. The Gucci 24-hour no transfer foundation that delivers full coverage in one drop. The lightweight formula hydrates and helps soothe the skin with a radiant and comfortable matte finish that complements your natural glow. Powered by a combination of high skin affinity powders and coated pigments with proprietary polymer technology, this foundation helps achieve an even coverage that stays fresh all day. Hyaluronic acid and black rose oil help boost and maintain hydration while deeply soothing and comforting the skin. Blending natural luminosity with a mattifying effect. The addition of bamboo powder provides shine control and even out the complexion. And I will say that that luminous matte description of the foundation threw me off for a bit. I was like, what does that mean? If it's matte, it's flat. There's no luminosity to it. So what do you mean it's luminous matte? So what they're trying to say say is that, yeah, it mattifies the skin and controls oil, but it still allows like your natural glow to shine through. So that's what I'm gathering from this description. It also says it's dermatologically tested and non-comedogenic. It is suitable for all skin types, even sensitive skin, plus it is suitable for eyes. I've never truly heard that from a foundation description, but that's what it said. And there's some catchphrases that they assign to this foundation, and I'll pop them up over here. So they say what it is: the Gucci 24-hour breathable full coverage foundation that stays all day no matter how you play. Okay, Gucci, why is it special? Delivers full coverage in one drop while feeling weightless, breathable, and comfortable all day. Delivers a luminous matte finish with shine control. Why luminous matte? It beautifies the skin with a natural matte finish while respecting the natural glow of the skin. Key ingredients: it's formulated with bamboo powder, which helps control shine all day, black rose oil and hyaluronic acid, well known for their soothing and hydrating properties, and high skin affinity powders and coated pigments with a proprietary polymer technology, which help to deliver long wear and no transfer properties to the foundation. It does not contain any animal ingredients, animal byproducts, or any other animal-derived ingredients. So they're claiming that it is vegan. There is a scent to this though. It's Vintage Peony, which is a vintage floral accord comprised of peony and freesia and modernized by a watery citrus accord and evanescent musky notes. Okay. It has an intended usage life of 12 months, an SPF of 15, and this was made in Korea. The packaging is a glass cylindrical bottle with a beautiful mint. It's like a millennial mint is what I would call it, because their previous foundation had the millennial pink. So millennial pink, millennial mint. I love that about it. And you know, you have the gold lettering on the front, and then on the bottom you have a clear label that indicates the product details, the shade number, and the sizing information. And then inside the cap, which is really secure, we have a gold and mint pump that is really beautiful and elegant. I love the style of the packaging. It feels nice and weighted in the hands, and the pump is really functional as well. So we're gonna go ahead and demonstrate this product, and I'll show you what my skin looks like up close and personal before we dive in. For reference, I have combination oily skin, and I have enlarged pores around my cheek area closest to my nose. My nose gets very oily, and I also get extremely oily in my forehead and chin area. The rest of my face is more on the balanced side, but overall I will get oily throughout the day if I don't apply a mattifying product or blot my skin throughout the day. So I would consider my skin to be a great test for this foundation because, again, I have very oily skin. I do also have some hyperpigmentation, so we can test the coverage level of this foundation. I have darkness around my mouth, and that's just naturally occurring for me. Under my eyes, I also have some darkness because of my heritage, and I do have some blotchy areas around my skin where my skin is not completely even. But other than that, I think I have pretty decent skin. I'm not acne prone, but I will get breakouts here or there. But yeah, my skin is not really troublesome except for being extremely oily. So let's go ahead and try out this foundation. I also picked up the primer that goes with the foundation. This is the Éternité de Beauté Mattifying Primer and Shine Control. So this is intended to be used in conjunction with the foundation. As you can see, they have matching packaging. This is really cute. They also have a matching primer for their previous foundation. This was the Natural Finish Fluid Foundation, and they had the Silk Priming Serum. I used both of these before and I really like them. The shade that I used in the previous formulation was 350W. Again, a medium shade with warm undertones. And I found that that shade match was pretty good in that foundation range. And this one you will see is also a pretty decent shade match. So the mattifying primer retails for $60 and also contains 1 fluid ounce or 30 milliliters. This is recommended for oily, combination, and normal skin. It is a mattifying primer that keeps makeup makeup looking fresh while leaving skin feeling cared for. It includes hyaluronic acid and glycerin, which creates a naturally perfected and visibly unified complexion. It has rose centifolia, which soothes the skin and provides antioxidant powder, and salicylic acid and bamboo powders, which control shine for up to a day and blurs the look of pores. So I am going to actually apply this primer on one side of my face so we can test the combination of the primer with the foundation, but also see what the foundation looks like without the primer. So I'm going to go in on this side of my skin, which is bare. I freshly washed my skin, so there's no skincare either. I don't have a moisturizer or anything applied. And we're gonna go in with this primer. This primer is somewhat of a thick silicone gel. It feels very silky, but it's also more of like a sticky primer. It has this grip feel to it, but it smooths over the skin really well. And once you apply it and blend it in, as I'm doing now, it kind of sets down. So it definitely is more of a mattifying primer. And I'm trying to apply it just to one half of my skin. So the side with the nose ring is what we're gonna use as a reference for the mattifying primer. All right, I'm gonna let that sit on my skin and go in on the other side with the foundation. Let's start out with one pump. Well, I'm gonna do two. Let me be honest. This foundation is not a runny foundation per se, but it is not like a thick cream. It's more like a thicker liquid, and we'll blend it out on this side. As you can see, when I initially apply it, it looks kind of light, but because it is a mattifying foundation and it is full coverage, I tend to not worry when it's a little bit lighter, right? Because once it sits on my skin, it's going to darken up a little bit. So you see, as I'm blending this out, it's kind of matching my skin a lot more. And like I mentioned, it's not a really yellow or orange foundation, even though it has warm undertones. It does lean a little bit more golden, of course, but it's not overly so. So it works on my skin, even though I tend to lean a little bit more on the neutral side. And it is blending out really seamlessly. It has given me beautiful coverage, but I don't feel like it's heavy duty full coverage as, say, the KVD full coverage foundation, the Good Apple Serum foundation. That one is definitely full coverage. This has given me a solid high medium coverage. It's definitely coating my skin and covering up the majority of my imperfections. As you can see around my mouth, it has evened that out quite a bit, and it's gliding on really well. It's not dragging or tugging even without a primer, and it feels very comfortable. So that is what the side without the primer looks like. Let's go ahead and apply it to the rest of my skin with the primer, which has now had like a minute or two to settle in. It is gliding much easier on this side, and I need another pump, well, a half a pump of foundation, because I'm using a clean brush, so it's absorbing some of the product, and that would be expected. If you use your fingers for this, of course you're gonna use less product, but I never use my fingers. And if you use a sponge, go with a damp sponge. That will also absorb less product, but it's gonna give you more sheer coverage. And this, let me tell you right now, is beautiful. The way it applies, the way it blends in, it is stunning. And even though it's full coverage, it doesn't completely blank out my skin and look like a mask or look like I shellacked my skin in paint. It's just evening out my complexion and giving me that added coverage where I need it. And there is a fragrance, okay? It's a signature Gucci fragrance, which I don't mind because it's more light and airy, and it definitely smells like flowers. It smells a little flowery. Let me just add some more. Let me use the rest around my mouth and see if we can build that up. I still stick to this being more of a full medium coverage foundation. I wouldn't say it's full coverage like we're probably used to seeing, where it blanks out our skin. I think it is a very wearable full coverage foundation. and that looks really beautiful. I think I can stop blending now, right? Yeah. As you can see, the shade match, again, pretty nice on my skin tone. It does look slightly too yellow, but with everything else added, like powders, bronzers, blush, I can get this to look pretty even on my skin, and I've worn it numerous times already, but this is just the demonstration that I'm showing you. So this is the prime side, and this is without primer. Now I would go in with concealer, but I feel like I don't want to add concealer to the mix. It says it's safe for use around the eyes, so I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it around my eyes and under eye area for a little added coverage. I don't really bring my foundation all the way up under my eyes because I usually just use concealer. So I'm just gonna use this kind of like I would a concealer and go a little bit closer to my under eye area. That actually did a pretty decent job. I do like that. So here you have it. I'm not gonna powder, okay? I'm going to leave it as is, but in normal wear, I would powder my skin, but I want to test the foundation on its own without any added help to see how it wears on my oily skin. So I'm going to pop in the before and after so you can see what it looks like. But overall, I think this foundation looks really good. And the prime side definitely feels a little bit more matte. It feels a little bit more heavy as well. Like I can feel the foundation on that side, while on the other side it feels a little bit lighter. So I do feel like the foundation is lightweight, and it even feels kind of breathable, whatever that means. To me, that translates to not feeling like I am wearing a mask. It feels comfortable. I don't feel like I'm wearing a heavy duty layer of foundation. The primer side feels a little bit more heavy, but that's not to say it overall feels heavy. It's just that I feel like I'm wearing more product on that side. But on the on prime side, it feels very comfortable. It's very nice, and I love the finish. It's a natural finish. I wouldn't consider it matte. It looks like my natural skin when it's freshly washed. There's no grease or oil right now, but we're gonna see how this wears throughout the day. So my check-in right now is 1:53. We're gonna come back in a couple of hours to see what this looks like after a little bit of wear, and I'll also insert how this looks in natural daylight so you can get a better view of the foundation. So let's go ahead and do that, and I will come back in a couple of hours. And just a heads up guys, it's about to get windy. I apologize for the sound. Alright guys, so here we are in natural daylight. I'll give you a look at this foundation. Full on sunlight. It looks great. I'm not even going to pretend that this isn't a great looking foundation, both inside and outside. Like, look at this, right? Up close, my skin looks great. I mean, it still looks like skin, but the coverage is great. The color looks nice. My skin looks great. So this is direct sunlight. Let's try to get some filtered lighting so it's not as intense and blown out. You know, the sun is definitely going to help to give me that natural filtered glow. Let's see a little bit of shadow in here. We have some birds, but look at my tree. It's so dry. The water is kind of receding. There's a little bit of a drought, and I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest. But here is the foundation without direct sunlight. Do you see how great this looks? It looks really nice. So here it is in natural daylight. First check-in. I think it looks beautiful. But the real test is my iPhone camera. Now, when I transfer this footage to my computer, it doesn't convert exactly how it looks on my phone. But here you have a better idea of what this foundation looks like. I think it looks great. I mean, you can still see my pores. This is my front facing camera, but I think it looks great. I'm hoping it's not too windy because the wind can affect the sound of the camera, but you can still see what the foundation looks like and hopefully hear me decently. So here it is, full on sun. Again, it just looks like skin, but it looks good. So iPhone camera check. All right, guys, so it is 4:57 and our first time check was 1:53. So technically this has been on my face for 3 hours and I have nothing to report. I went to the supermarket and now I'm cooking. I did some work and I have nothing to report. Nothing to report. It looks exactly the same. Nothing has changed, and I wanted to do this check-in at the 3-hour mark to show you like the progress, because I am impressed. Like, you know, by now I should be a little shiny. Absolutely nothing, not on the prime side or the on prime side. So I'll see you guys in a couple more hours, I guess. All right, guys, check-in number 2. It is 7:58. Yeah, so we have officially had this foundation on now for 6 hours. Okay, so yeah, 6 hours, and I don't even want to film a before and after because there's no really big change. I've gotten a little bit glowy, just a little bit though. And I cooked, I was outside, I went grocery shopping, and even on the side without primer, it's still holding up. Like, you guys don't understand. This is unheard of for a foundation. And it isn't settling into lines or anything. It hasn't started to break or split. This is really great. I didn't powder. I didn't do anything to this foundation but put it on. And you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, the side without the primer is almost less glowy. So you don't even need a mattifying primer. You know what impresses me the most right now? Ooh, I have a eye booger. Hold on. Did you all see that when I got up close? Ew, oh my God. So here's what impresses me the most. Let me zoom in. Usually by the 3 or 4 hour mark, this right here, you see it? That would be so shiny right now because my oils would be breaking through right around this area, especially my nose. My nose is like the epicenter for oiliness, and I do see the oil trying to break through. It is like creating little lines of oil. You can't see it necessarily up close, I don't think. But in my 10-time magnification mirror, I can see the little oil channels trying to happen, and they're not really breaking through. This is excellent right now. You saw the up close. I'm not even gonna bother to do a before and after because 6 hours in, it looks so good. If I blotted right now, I'd be so set. I wouldn't have to worry about this foundation for another couple hours. I am not gonna blot though. I'm gonna still give it some more hours to settle in to see when it really starts to break down. This is the first long wear foundation that declares 24 hours that may live up to that claim right now, because I'm telling you, fighting these oils, wow, it is winning right now. So this is probably when I would just blot down some of this shine for myself personally, like during everyday wear. But I'm gonna let this foundation keep marinating, right? And I'll probably see you in a couple of hours because, yeah, I'll check in probably 2 hours unless something goes awry in the next hour. So I'll see you guys soon. All right, y'all, it is time for check-in number 3. I think it's number 3, right? So it is 10:06. So we've officially had this foundation on now for over 8 hours. We started out at 1:53 was our check-in. I had it on a little bit longer than that, but 8 hours, all right? And I've started to get a little bit shinier, right? You can see on my cheek area and in my forehead, and you can see the light reflecting off that, but the foundation has not settled into any lines, okay? There is no, there's no creasing. There may be like slight settling into fine lines in my forehead area, but nothing extreme at all. And the foundation isn't breaking down. It just looks like foundation now. It looks like I have a complexion product on my face. You can see the grease, all right? But even my nose isn't as oily as it usually is. It's just like a manageable amount of oil that I can just blot away. I'll blot in a minute, but I want you to see what this looks like. It still looks beautiful. Like, oh yes, it is so stunning. And now I'm sure that there's going to be transfer. I'm oily now. My oils are breaking this down, so it's gonna transfer. But I am so impressed. Let's pop in the before and after. Of course, you can see that it's definitely warmed up to my skin. It has definitely gotten a lot more glowy. It hasn't stayed matte, but it's really controlling the oils. And even on the bare side without primer, it still looks the same with the primer. So it's like this foundation doesn't even need a primer to be long wearing. In fact, I feel like the side with the primer actually is a little bit more glowy. Is that just me? Am I just reaching here? I feel like the primer did help a little bit, but at the same time, I didn't need it because the foundation on its own is holding up pretty well. I am very impressed by the wear time of this foundation. 8 hours in and I look like this. Any other foundation, this would be my face after 2.5, 3 hours. The maximum I've gotten out of a foundation before I got to this level would be 4 hours. And this has made it to twice that. Like, come on, 8 hours. And I still look great. I'm loving this. And I would continue to wear this to give you like check-ins, but I'm going to bed, okay? I'm going to shower. It's Friday. I'm trying to get this off my face and just go to bed. But it doesn't feel uncomfortable. It still feels as lightweight as it did upon initial application. I don't feel the need to like scrape it off my skin like some foundations. I'm telling you right now, yeah, I'm impressed. I'm probably already spoiling the review part of the video, but here you have it. Here's check-in number 3. This is going to end my wear test. And now I will go ahead and finish up with my final thoughts, which you can probably already guess is going to be very positive. Hold up, wait a minute. Before I go, let's blot and see if we can refresh this foundation by just blotting, and we'll see what the transfer is like now with my oils breaking through, which again I anticipate is gonna be, yep, there it goes. So this foundation is obviously going to transfer more now that I'm oily, because what does oil do? Break down makeup. So I have way more transfer, but it's still not a lot of transfer considering. And look how refreshed my skin looks now. I could continue wearing this foundation for a few more hours after blotting. No issue. Like, doesn't that look like brand new? Come on. Wow. And that's the amount of foundation that has come off, which is not a lot if you really think about it. Wow. And this is mainly around my nose where I got really, really oily. But look at this. Y'all. Nah, stop playing with me. All right, now let's go ahead and wrap up with my review. All right, guys, so now that you have heard all the product details, seen the demonstration, walked through the wear test with me, how about I go ahead and finish up with my final thoughts? And I like to start out with the price point. Okay, listen, this foundation retails for $69, which it's a happy number. However, that is not a fun number to hear for a foundation. $69 is extremely steep. Let's be fair. No one wants to spend $69 on a foundation, but it's in line with luxury pricing on the market. This is what I would expect from Gucci, and there has been some inflation pricing, so there has been some overall price increases for the brand and for other brands across the board. At the end of the day though, it's whether or not you're comfortable paying $69 for a foundation. I'm never truly comfortable telling someone to go plop down $70+ on a makeup item, right? Unless it's within your budget and within your means. Never break the bank over makeup, but if this is something that you would splurge on and the results are what you would like, I don't know, maybe it's worth treating yourself. Sometimes it's worth a special treat, but wait until I tell you my true feelings at the end to determine if this is something you should go ahead and add to your wish list. Maybe you can get it at a discount during the Sephora sale. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, but just keep that in mind. It's priced the way it is because it's a luxury foundation. All right, moving on to the packaging. I think the packaging is cute. It's very nice. It's a glass bottle, right? Signature Gucci gold lettering on the front. It's beautiful. It has a satisfying click when you close it. It's a great looking bottle, but there's nothing extraordinary about it, right? There's nothing extra luxurious or sophisticated about the bottle. Kind of looks like any run-of-your-mill glass foundation bottle, so you're not getting the luxury here at all. And the box that this comes in is signature Gucci as well. It kind of crosses over with the primer. It is their black packaging with the beige pink front, and then of course you have the product details on the boxes. As far as purchasing goes, you can pick this up at Sephora, in-store or online, as well as through the Gucci website. You can also find it at other Gucci retailers such as Nordstrom and Bloomingdale's and other high-end department stores. And the shade range is really, really well done. I must applaud Gucci for this. They have 41 shades to choose from, and they have a great selection of dark and deep shades. I fall in the medium range of this foundation. I am 360, and their deepest, richest shade is 580. So I will say they did a great job with this shade range. Now I don't know how it works out for very fair skin tone. I can't speak to that, but I can speak to the diversity of the shade range. There's a balance between light shades, medium shades, tan shades, dark shades, and deep shades. There's not just like 40 base shades and 2 deep shades, you know what I mean? So I think the shade range is really balanced, and I love that, especially from a luxury brand. Now that I've gotten all that out the way, let's talk about the product and the performance. And I've probably already given it away just based on the demonstration and the wear test, but I am in love with this foundation. I could not have asked for a better foundation result given the price point. I spent $70+ on this foundation, so I wanted it. I expected it to blow me away, and it did not disappoint. Oh my God, I am so happy to report that this foundation lives up to all the claims, okay? It is a beautiful medium to full coverage foundation, right? It sits beautifully on my skin. It covers up my hyperpigmentation, evens out my skin tone, while remaining lightweight and breathable. It feels so comfortable on the skin. I knew that I was wearing foundation, but at no point during wear did I feel like my skin was getting tight or greasy or heavy. I didn't want to scrape it off at the end of the night, which can happen with some foundations. I just want to go wash my face. This foundation, I could have just kept wearing it. It was so comfortable. And the finish, oh my God, that luminous matte, I don't think it's truly luminous. It's a natural matte finish, meaning it looks like your skin. It's not truly like a satin, I wouldn't say. It doesn't have a dewy finish. There's no glow to it. It just looks beautiful. It's a beautiful finish. It's not too dry either, so it's not like a tight matte. It's almost like your skin, but better. It's so gorgeous. I love the finish. And the wear time? Oh my God, this foundation kept lasting and lasting and lasting. Up to the 6-hour mark, I still did not feel the urge to blot. It was wearing so well. with the primer and without the primer. I would even say without the primer, it was doing so much better. And I've worn this foundation numerous times. I've worn it with a full face of makeup where I actually powdered down. And this foundation, I mean, was locked in place. It worked so well with blush and bronzer and highlighter on top. It didn't move, it didn't budge. It was just beautiful throughout the day. And I fell in love. So even though I already told you that I'm not comfortable telling you to drop $70 on this foundation, if it's within your budget and you have oily skin and you were looking for a long wear foundation that has a matte finish and controls oil all day, put it in your budget, save up for it. It is worth the splurge. It is definitely worth the splurge. Add it to your wish list. Maybe you can ask for it as a gift. Maybe it can be a special treat to you. I don't know. All I'm saying is, if it's within your budget, if it's within your means, and you are looking for exactly this type of foundation, which has a natural matte finish, controls shine, long lasting, transfer resistant. Oh my God, I forgot to mention the transfer resistance. Like, it's not just flying all over the place. You don't touch your skin and it's on your hand forever. No, if you hug someone, it's not gonna automatically transfer. You wear a mask, it's gonna stay put. Like, this foundation stays on. So I'm telling you right now, the results are almost worth the price point. I will never say it's 100% worth it because $70 is steep. Let's be honest, but it is almost worth that price point. I would repurchase this without a doubt, okay? And the shade match that I was able to get, wow, the shade I picked up just worked for me. And with it being such a high coverage foundation, you kind of have to get your exact match, which is why, again, I am so excited about their shade range. You are probably going to be able to find a shade match for you, one that works well on your complexion, one that blends in seamlessly with your skin, and leaves you looking flawless. And it's a foundation that I'm comfortable wearing day to day and also for special occasions. At $70, I'm gonna be honest with you, I am tempted to save this for special occasions, but then at $70, I wanna get my money's worth, so I'm gonna keep using this. And it's lovely. I have no regrets. I have no cons about this foundation other than the price point. Everything else about this foundation, the claims, the wear time, the finish, the shade match, like, I am so impressed. Can you tell? Oh my God. So definitely give this one 2 thumbs up. It's one of the first foundations that I can wholeheartedly recommend if you have oily skin. It is like a godsend, and I'm so happy I have the primer as well, because that primer works really well for other foundations to kind of extend the wear time and keep my skin feeling comfortable throughout wear. So hands down, this is one of the best foundations I've tried in a while, and to me, it was worth the splurge. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've tried this foundation out. Hopefully this review, demo, and wear test was helpful to help you decide if this is something you want to splurge on. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's worth it. Let me know down below if you've also tried it out and what you think about it. It's recommended for normal, oily, and combination skin, but I feel like if you have dry skin and you prefer a matte finish, it's comfortable enough and it has those ingredients that's gonna keep your skin hydrated. If you prep your skin with your skincare and use this foundation, I think you'll still like it. I don't know that it would necessarily cling to dry spots is what I'm saying. But if you have dry skin and you've tried this out, let us know in the comments down below as well, because that can be helpful for anyone that is reading the comments. I'm going to also leave links to my Instagram and Twitter where you can follow me along, as well as links on where you can pick this foundation up. Again, Sephora sale is coming up, so if you can get it at a discount, that's probably much better for you because price point is steep, but I really like it. So there you have it, guys. Until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.